Okay. Now, Articulate Storyline 360 training, this is session 2. Okay. Then let's proceed. Now, this one I still go on, okay, which is my name is Elena Lim. Then whenever you need any help or whenever you meet any challenges that you may face, you can just actually directly just email to training@elearningminds.com. But soon, okay, we would definitely implement the Zendesk. Okay, Zendesk is where the clients will definitely log their problems or issues into the Zendesk and we will come back to you, okay, on that. So client side, you do not need to subscribe to it, okay. Now, this one is the reference guide. You still based on the first link as long as you recall the link and the password. So this one will be updated occasionally whenever there is any updates from the software side, okay. And so right now I have one poll question. Appreciate that you all can put in your answers. So let me share with you. Yeah, let me copy and I'll put in inside the chat room. Please. Okay, appreciate that you all can go into the chat room, click under that link and proceed with the poll. Now, the poll question goes, what topics from session 1 has proven to be the most challenging for you to grasp? Okay, that means to absorb, whether the user interface, slides, layers, states, triggers, animation, cue points, all of them or none of them. You can only choose one. What will be your answers? Click under the chat room. There is one responses already. Cue points, okay. Second one, cue points as well. Wow, you all are so afraid of cue points, okay. Now, let me explain, since you all are polling already, okay. Now, let me explain about cue points. Cue points is where you want to synchronize certain objects or elements based on certain points that you set. They are just cue points within the timeline, okay. Now, whenever you need to record any narration again or put certain sound effects, so that's where you create certain cue points. Now, cue points is available. That means, let's say at certain cue points, you want to call certain layer in or change certain state, okay, change certain pose of the character also can. Or let's say based on cue point 3, you want to call this element in. Okay, so that is very useful. So one thing to do under animations, that is under the animations of text, okay, that means you need to synchronize them. How to synchronize them? That means you click the play button within the timeline, okay, under the bottom there is a play button. Let the playhead move first, okay, the playhead, which is a blue triangle within the timeline as well, okay. Then whenever you hear the word, you press C on the keyboard, okay. C means that is creating the cue points. And then after you have created the cue points, you just need to align the different elements towards the different cue point set. That means you, let's say just now earlier, we just click on the slides, then right click, align to cue point what number. Okay, so that is the cue point. Now, some of you also user interface and some of your is animation. Yeah, that's that's all right. Okay, so because maybe you are not familiar with the PowerPoint animation, that's fine. Okay, so this one, based on this afternoon, okay, we will definitely do more on that. Definitely, there's still cue points to be done. Tomorrow session also, there will be cue points to be done as well. And plus animation also, there is certain things to be done as well. User interface. Now, user interface is quite friendly already, that I would say, okay. So basically, how user friendly it is, because it looks like PowerPoint that you have. Let's say, let me show my storyline first. Yeah, so this is a user interface for storyline. So it's the same thing like PowerPoint, that you have your slides here on the left, then your triggers panel on the right, your layers panel right at the bottom, and your timeline, states, and notes tab. Okay, so these are the few things that is changed based on PowerPoint. Okay, now for design, transitions, animations, view, they basically based on PowerPoint to create. Okay, then they add on whatever e-learning features in there, like feedback master, media library, then design, okay, they put the slide size here. For slides, definitely is customized, so that means you can create a new slide based on quizzing. That's only the interface. So as long as you get used to the interface already, you are there already. So whenever we want to train for basic training under Storyline, definitely the prerequisite is that you need to utilize PowerPoint, okay? Because PowerPoint is the most basic if, let's say, you want to utilize for any other softwares like Articulate Storyline, Lectora, or even iSpring, okay, or even Adobe Captivate. Okay, now the rest of the softwares like Lectora, Adobe Captivate, they don't look like that. Am I right, Sadara, Sukuntia, and Virek, since you are using Adobe softwares, okay, they don't look like that one. They don't look like Articulate Storyline, okay? Why I can say that? Because I've utilized Captivate before, okay? I think version 5 and version 6 right now is called Captivate 2021, if not mistaken. So I've utilized Captivate before, and so sometimes you can say that Captivate is much better. Sometimes Storyline is much better, depending on what areas that you want to reach for. What outcome do you want to reach for? Okay, so say for example, you want to create states, definitely Storyline. If you want to create layers, definitely Storyline will be the fastest. So now, if you want to create simulations, screencasts that follows the mouse going here and there, I would say Captivate is one of the best. Okay, so these are the things that it depends on the software, what you want to do for the outcome, okay, for your training content, then you choose that software to do. And so not all softwares can do for, how to call, not all softwares can solve for all of your problems under the content side. Microsoft Office also came out with a few softwares. Excel, Word, PowerPoint, meant for different purposes. Same thing for e-learning. Okay, so right now, let's go back to the poll. Yeah, okay. So this is how we actually do the poll. Okay, so right now, let me actually come back. Now, this is the recap for the building blocks. Slides equals to the canvas. That means it can host like your videos, your audios, your text on screen, images, whatever things. Okay, it is similar to your PowerPoint slide. Okay, now layers, that means it acts like slides. Okay, that means you can import your slides and put it within the layer. Okay, that means you can put more information or more context in there. Okay, it's like a pop-up info. Okay, now states equals to the looks of certain objects. Okay, so for these two objects, that is layers and slides, everything is about slide canvas. Layers also is like a canvas because it acts like slides. Then we move on deeper, that is the objects within the slide, that is states. Okay, where the buttons, shapes, characters, pictures, okay, videos, okay, so all those things have states as well. So whenever states you want to make use, okay, you need to know whether you want to make use of pre-built states or a customized state. Okay, that allows you to actually further enhance your training content. Then after that, we also have triggers. Triggers to how called drive your interactivity. Okay, now there are actions. So there are two questions that maintain there, what you want to do and when you want to do it. Okay, so this is the basic recap that I have for you based on this morning. Okay, now the objectives of this session 2 is that how to create interactive video, learning objectives, web object. Okay, what is web object? Then create closed caption subtitles for video as well as audio. Use record mic and text to speech, because earlier on this morning session, we made use of the files already pre-recorded. Okay, so right now we'll make use of record mic as well as text to speech, and also create simple animations. Okay, now interactive video. Videos are no longer one-way traffic. One-way traffic that you see under YouTube. Okay, now YouTube side, everyone have access to YouTube. Am I right? Now, is YouTube interactive? Can anyone answer? Is YouTube interactive?
Yeah, YouTube is interactive.
Why? Reasons?
It visible.
Invisible?
It visible to everyone.
Visible.
Yeah, visible.
Yeah. Now, interactive means that you can interact with the content. Okay, that means it requires the learners, the viewers to interact. Let's say it pauses there, then I click. That is interactive. Okay, so for your case, the reasons is not actually conclusive. Okay, if you say animation, okay, animation, that means things are moving. Okay, the objects are moving, like characters moving, text are moving, buttons are moving. That is animation. So right now, is YouTube interactive? Anyone?
No, it's not.
Why?
Uh, it's a one-way communication.
Okay, it's the one-way communication that Lisa says, but it's not right also. Okay, now YouTube is a basic interactive. Okay, basic interaction. Why I say that? Towards the end of the video, you see what? Marketing comes out that you can click under other videos. That is a basic interactive. Okay, and sometimes you have advertisements coming in between the videos. That is also interactive. That you need to click skip ad. That one is also interactive. Okay, so as long as it requires the learners or the viewers to click on the screen itself, that is interactive. Okay, so YouTube, we don't normally follow YouTube. Okay, but YouTube is one of the source that we follow because most of the people would know YouTube. Okay, now if you have any other media servers, okay, that is streaming one, like Netflix, I believe most of you all know Netflix as well. Okay, that means you can see the how called movies or drama series or whatever through the Netflix site. Okay, that is a media server as well. Okay, Facebook, is it a media server? No. Okay, so that's where whenever you see things under the Facebook, that is a video. Video definitely calls from media server. That's where it can streams very fast. Okay, so it depends on different things that you are trying to strive for. Okay, now interactive video that we try to create, that means you can base on local video that you put inside storyline. Okay, then you can ask any questions, you can add on whatever content that you want, and then after that you can proceed on with the video. Okay, that is interactive video. Okay, so we will proceed with this. Okay, any questions? Just now Casey actually put on how to call hands up, then after that she put off on that. Any questions?
Questions from my end, Alina. Thank you.
Okay, great. Now, I have some demos as well. This is the first part of the demo. So if you all have lunch, okay, if you all had not had lunch, okay, you all can have it now if it is ready. Okay, now this one is a 6-step linear process. This is an ebook. Okay, this one is an accordion. Okay, and this is interactive video that we recorded for CIMB Bank, which is in Malaysia. Okay, I believe Cambodia also you have a CIMB Bank, and Philippines, I don't think so. Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, so this is the first part of the demos. Then second part, towards the last 15 minutes or 10 minutes like that, I will showcase the rest of the samples, which is this. Okay, so right now, let me showcase some samples first. Okay, now this is a 6-step linear process. Okay, So now I have one customer is utilizing this process in order to create her own content lah. Okay, so she loves this. That means she wants to create the process of compliance itself for, I think, some shared services center. So now, upon you hover, what happened? Okay, the yellow puzzle actually grows bigger. Okay, so this one is normally just a picture that we just upload into Storyline, and then under hover state, we actually make it slightly bigger, and then we can actually upload an audio file, the sound effect itself. So all those things we can do. No need to create trigger. Okay, so upon you click step 1, what happens? A layer actually appears. Okay, depending whether you want a layer or a state, up to you. Okay, but this one is best to create a layer, and this person wants this close button to be a home button. So once I click the home button, it returns back to the base layer. Okay, so if let's say I click on the step 2, okay, layer shows, then all these things, it still allows you to click. Now, the user that I mentioned, the user wanted that when the layer is shown, I cannot click all of this. What to do then? That means the user can only click the home button to return, then only they can click. That is your control. It depends. Okay, so if I click here, all these things is still able to click. I just remove the button lah. Okay, or I disable the button, also can. Okay, so this is where sometimes certain tricks, tips and tricks can be enhanced further one. Okay, depending on how it's being constructed. Okay, now the next one is tabs. Okay, now this one is already done for you, as you can see under here, demo samples. Okay, all these samples are here. Okay, so this is, if not mistaken, is this one, tabs. Okay. Now, this one, if you click under 1, it actually pulls out. Whether you want to make use of motion path, up to you, or just a transition of a layer. Okay, or an animation that you can add for this purple shape itself. That's all. Okay, so it pulls out, then the back button that goes back. Okay, it just quickly closes back. That's all. So all these templates is already done for you. If you have tabs that are more than 4 different tabs, what do you do then? Okay, so that means I need to create the 5th tab, which is somewhere here. Okay, then I duplicate the 4th tab. Okay, I duplicate. I don't just create, I duplicate the layer, I duplicate the 4th tab, then I move this thing to lower part. Then all this 1, 2, 3, 4, I move to the right a bit so that I can cater for the 5th tab. Then I check whether the triggers is done correctly, all those things. So if let's say you want to make use of this, but you only want 3 tabs, what to do? Then after that, I just hide this one so that I can maintain 2, 3, 4. That's simple. Because content keeps maintaining. You never know when you need the 4th tab. Okay, so this is what we mean. So I can just easily hide this. Okay, so this is very simple. So once you click on 2, then the 2 also pulls out. Okay, so this is a tab base. Okay, now this part, okay, is the what you call, is quite interesting. Okay, so this is 2015. You can do this like an orientation program, like how the company has evolved. Okay, so then, or whether you want to make it like the achievement kind of thing. Okay, so right now I just click under the next button. It will move towards the right. Okay, the numbers will move towards the right. The picture will move towards the left. Okay, so what do we use to do this? You can say animation. Okay, you can say also motion path. Okay, everything only sits within one slide. Okay, one slide and multiple layers. Or you can put within everything within one slide as well, depending on how you construct. Okay, so this is the thing that sometimes we actually venture into this and it's so smooth. Let's say once I click under the left, it moves back. Okay, so you can see the transparent image all the way here. Okay, how it moves. So could be that is within the slide, calling layers, okay, or just everything within one slide. We are not sure. So that's the curiosity point that I wanted to prompt to you all. Okay, sometimes is that you create based on the slides. Sometimes you create based on slides and layers. Sometimes you create based on the states only. Okay, tomorrow you will see one sample. Okay, now the next sample that I wanted to show you is this. Okay, this is the last sample already based on this session. Conflicts of interest, holding a substantial financial interest. So now the blue words are clickable. Okay, so once you click under financial interest, it launches a layer. Okay, so layers can be something like this. Then you click the close button and it closes. Now for this non-company work, it calls a media. So you can play the media. Okay, so once you stop, how did we do the scrolling bar? Okay, this one is definitely states. So every second is one state. Can you imagine? Every second is one state. So when the music goes, whenever state is equals to 1, not to say that, when the second is equals to 1, I just change the state. That's it. So that's where we put a short audio only. Okay, then the play button is to play, the stop button is to stop. Okay, so this is how we actually do it. Okay, now another thing that I wanted to showcase, you can also showcase like a video, like you click play. Okay, so this one in a layer also you can showcase whatever videos, you can put in whatever GIF files, all those things you can put on, no problem. Once you stop, then the hand actually goes back. Okay, and the next one, oh, this one cannot. The next one is that you can put a layer that showcase even text and graphic. Okay, so these are the things that is so flexible for you all to actually create engaging and interactive courses that is so interesting to the learners. Okay, now graphics like this, definitely you can source from the content library. Okay, because most of you all are using the trial period, especially Biocon, Lisa, and I'm not sure whether Shaira is also using the trial period. Okay, so that's where we don't.
I've subscribed already.
Okay, great. Then Casey also, I'm not sure whether you are using the trial period or you have subscribed.
I've already subscribed, Alina.
Okay, great. Okay, so it's only Lisa lah. Okay, so now during the training, definitely we do not make use of the content library. Okay, content library, definitely you need to download. Okay, that's where the bandwidth is very limited. Okay, we definitely cater for the training more. Now, for motion path, if not mistaken, we will search only one thing, that's all. Okay, now that's all that I wanted to show. Okay, and let's proceed to a new storyline file. Okay, launch a new storyline file. Okay, while I do this. Okay, now what you're trying to achieve is
I'm Kevin, remember? You wanted to see me today? Something about a survey?
Right, Kevin. Don't sit. I can only take a minute here. It's not a very difficult job, but it needs to be done accurately. It needs to be done.
Think about it. What makes a project manager effective or not effective?
Correctly.
Okay, could you tell me something about it? Like what the scope of it is? When's it?
okay, how did we do that? Okay, this is interactive video. Now, this part of things, that means we just upload the video. Okay, at 12 seconds, as you see, we just call a layer. A layer can be a question, can be an interactive also. That means you put, let's say, what makes a project manager effective or not effective. You want to put yes or no. Once you click yes, then it proceeds. Once you click no, then it goes back. Your choice. Okay. Then whenever your video is long, like let's say 10 minutes long or 15 minutes long, we normally put interactive video. We don't want learners to actually view the video for 10 to 15 minutes long without any interaction. So sometimes we need to put certain breaks there, okay, to be more interactive in a sense, to engage with the learners better. Okay, so this is interactive video. Okay, so we will proceed with this. Okay, so since just now that you have launched Storyline, okay, this is a new file, as you can see, Untitled 1. Okay, so right now, let me brief you on the files that we'll be utilizing. Okay, now session 2, okay, source, which is images, videos, also we will utilizing under Ineffective Manager. Okay, then later on, we'll be utilizing all this. Okay, all these videos, definitely. Now, under images, definitely certain things that you'll be utilizing, which is this one. Okay, BG light texture that we'll be using under the layer side. Okay, these are the things that we put on just in case we have time to create the optional exercises. Okay, and audio file. Okay, audio file, that is the SFX Blue. Okay, that is for learning objectives. Then what is that? Video think and vid intro as well, just in case that you need it. But since we are going to record with mic or using the text to speech, most likely we do not make use of this. Okay, so these are the files that we actually utilizes. Okay, now for this, definitely we need to import the video in first. So I just proceed to insert video under media side, not here, not under content library. There are two different things. Now video, click under the arrow, there are three different things: video from file, video from website, media library, record webcam. There are four different choices for you. Okay, so video from file definitely is from your local PC or local laptop itself. Video from website definitely is based on the YouTube, okay, or your internet, which is your website. Okay, intranet also it can call as long as you provide the link. Okay, now record webcam definitely is recording yourself. Okay, now this record webcam, in the past, like more than 10 years ago, people love this. Why they love? Okay, is because you can see the trainer while they are presenting. Okay, that means the slides. So while they are presenting, the slides will actually change accordingly. So people love those kind of training. Okay, but right now it's so intuitive that the trainer, you can react towards the slides as well. Okay, so later on, I'll share with you, like Steve Jobs, how he does the presentation. Okay, like I just click and everything is showing behind me. Okay, like I press, then something actually showcases. Then once I break the screen, those are interactive as well. Okay, so all these things is possible, definitely. Okay, now media library, I will explain if not mistaken, tomorrow. Okay, now for right now, we will start with video from file first. Okay, and then we move on to session 2. Okay, under source video, choose Ineffective Manager. Okay, the directory is insert video, which is under here. Okay, and then you browse through your participant folder, 1 exercises, session 2, source video, and then you look for Ineffective Manager. Okay, now the video files that it supports, which is all these different formats. Okay, FLV, it does not support anymore. Okay, so whenever you have any FLV, okay, which is from Flash, okay, or SWF file, you need to record that if you do not want to reconstruct. Okay, so most of the time, right now, I think most of you all know that Flash is no longer supported. So some of the clients, they actually ignored. So last year, we were doing a lot of conversion projects. Okay, so now once I choose Ineffective Manager, I click Open. Now, once it's there, you can see that the video is here already. Okay, now how did I shrink my timeline? Okay, right now it's increased, it's enlarged, but right now I want to shrink it. How did I shrink? Okay, now just place your cursor under the timeline, on top of the timeline, then on your mouse, there is the scroller, the roller itself. You can go up or go down. Okay, so once I put on the timeline, once I go up, it actually enlarge. Okay, once you shrink down, it actually decreases or shrink. Okay, so this is how sometimes you can use even specific cue points to actually react for your content. Okay, now for this, let me just enlarge it a bit, something like this. Okay, so now for this video is around 29 seconds, as you can see. Okay, now upon you click on certain elements, you can see that the video tools options is highlighted. Okay, so in order to preview the video, this is where you click the most top left button. Now, video volume also, you can change the video volume itself. Edit video, later on we'll come back to that. Show video in slide or in new browser window. Now, definitely for most of you all, that I would encourage for the videos to be shown in the slide itself. Why do we say in the slide? Okay, not as a new browser window. Okay, if new browser window, definitely a new browser. Okay, let's say I'm using Google Chrome. That means a new pop-up window will actually appear. Google Chrome as well. Okay, so now best is you put in slide. Why do we say that? Okay, now first thing first, you need to cater for security controls. Sometimes your IT has prevented your browser not to have any pop-up. Okay, that is cybersecurity. Okay, so you need to check with that. And plus, second factor, your learners. Okay, this one is based on the learner's perspective. Now, how do you train your learners to go through the e-learning? Okay, now if let's say at certain point, I want them to click the close button, they immediately just click the close and close the whole thing out. Okay, close the whole browser, which is not. Okay, so this is where sometimes you need to educate the people first before you actually introduce that particular function. Okay, so there are two main factors that is catering for that. So that's where we definitely train you all for in the slide mode itself. Okay, now show video controls, none or below video. Now there is no video controls here. So once I want to show below video, it showcase the the time over here as well. Okay, which is 29 seconds. This one, the play button or the pause button. Okay, now play video automatically when clicked or when triggered. Okay, now automatically means that once you enter into this slide, okay, it will automatically download from your learning management system and then it will automatically play for you. Okay, so this is automatic. When click means that this one is stagnant, this one is a static graphic. So once you click, then only it downloads, then only it plays. Okay, now when triggered means that upon you need to be triggered through a play button, pause button or a stop button. So this one definitely more triggers to be done. Okay, so now what is recommended? We normally just go with automatic. Now, first things first, what are the reasons why we go with automatic? Now, let me go through how Articulate downloads your content for the learners. Okay, let's say you got 10 slides and the video is under the third slide, for example. Okay, so the first slide itself, it will download all the different elements in your videos, your your text, your images, everything, your audio will be downloaded. Once it downloaded the first slide already, only the first slide, then it will proceed on with the second slide without the learners knowing. Okay, the learners is still viewing the first slide, then it downloads the second slide already. Okay, so after it finished to download the second slide, it will proceed on with the third slide. Okay, so that's how Articulate downloads. Now, all LMSs work that way. Okay, so now if let's say you want a jumping scenario, Let's say from slide 1, I jump directly to slide 40. That one you need to wait for a while. Okay, so from slide 1, I suddenly jump to slide 40, but the LMS is only downloaded up to slide 30 only, for example. Okay, so all these things, that's where the buffer time will need to start kicking in. Okay, now this one is also depending on the bandwidth that your company uses. Okay, so file size of every media is very important to maintain, to manage as well. Okay, so our company has maintained for different file size since from the beginning. Okay, for our banks in the past, one of the bank only requested 3 meg per video. Okay, per video only 3 meg of file size. So that's where, how do you maintain? That means the course is full of videos. Can you imagine that? So that's how we break the videos into different slides. Okay, so that the learner's point of view, they can download very fast. Okay, so things that is coming to you based on your content, okay, you need to think about the learner's perspective, definitely. Okay, now, second reason is that, the first reason is bandwidth. Second reason is that how articulate downloads as well. And the third reason, what is that? Third reason is that, I can't think of the third reason. Something just flashed through my mind. So sorry. Once I think of it, then I can pass to you. No problem. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So manage of the file size is very important. Okay. And yeah. So definitely we go through the automatic. If you need to make use of the media server, that means these 3 things does not apply. Okay. If you need to make use of any media server, whether YouTube, Vimeo, or or Ubicast site, or even what's that, Kaltura. Okay, so all those are media servers. Okay, that means they have very strong streaming services. Okay, so these are the reasons why we make use of media servers. So if your video is sitting inside a media server, all these 3 does not apply. That means you click under that link, then it calls the media server to play. That's it. Okay, this one definitely solely dependent on the bandwidth itself. Okay, now compression, automatic or none. Okay, now treat the articulate suite as a content integrator. It's not a content compressor. It's not a content creator as well. It's not a media creation as well. It's only a content integrator software. Okay, to create interactive and engaging courses. So if you need compression, we follow the third party rule. Okay, if you need audio, we follow the third party rule as well. Okay, third party means that we make use of the third party softwares. Okay, now compression for storyline, definitely it caters for the basic only. Okay, so now you have automatic or none. So that means 5 megabyte go in, that means 5 megabyte will come out for none. If automatic, that means you depend on your settings. Okay, now a source file that is 5 megabyte or 5 gig, okay, if you put automatic, it will shrink. Okay, if you put none, meaning that 5 gig or 5 meg go in, 5 gig will be coming out. Okay, this one also depends on your source file's resolution and the file size. Okay, now bear in mind that whenever you upload anything into Storyline, you keep the file size small. Okay, once you compress everything, only then that you put into Storyline. Now the US and Europe region, they don't care of the file size one. Okay, because their bandwidth is superb, I would say. Okay, but Southeast Asia region, we definitely cater for the bandwidth. So that's where you need to also manage your file size. Now, why do I say the file size we need to manage? Okay, now, once you put a big file size into Storyline, upon you save, first thing first, you need to cater for more storage space. Second thing, when you open the file, come into this slide, it takes certain time as well, if the file size is big. Third thing, your learners, upon you upload, your content will be slower in uploading because the file size is bigger. Okay, your learner's perspective, the download will be slower as well because it needs time to actually download the certain file size. So all those things, definitely we need to manage it well. Okay, so file size, now video is the biggest file size. Okay, so how can you check? That means under the 6th session that we will train you. Okay, so these things is not included inside the Articulate website. Okay, these are the tips and tricks and the experience that we go through as well. Okay, now add captions. Okay, add captions. Let's proceed to add captions. Now, add captions itself, you can add whatever subtitles in there. How to add? Let's say you have all these captions in there. So, play.
I'm Kevin, remember? You wanted to see me today? Something about a survey?
Right, Kevin.
Kevin, remember, you wanted to see me regarding about a survey, something like this. Then now you can also shrink this to somewhere around here. Then
Kevin.
all right, something like this. Then this one is somewhere here. Now, upon the empty slot, you can add in any captions if you want. So insert caption, okay, or delete caption, your choice. So let's
It's
say
not a very difficult.
I just do.
Right, Kevin. Don't sit. I can only take a minute here.
I just do 2. Right, Kevin. Don't sit. It will only take a minute here. For example, minute here. Okay, I just do 2. Okay. Now, how captions will look like? It will look something like this. Okay, which is a darker gray background with the fonts in there. Now, the font size you can change. Font type also you can change, but not the color. Okay, which is a dark gray, you cannot change because Articulate definitely complies with 508 compliant, which is more for the handicap. Okay, so the color itself you cannot change. Now, if you need to change the subtitles color, the background color, this one you can add a text box to it. That means all the text box within the timeline for certain for certain narration, this text box will be standard. That color itself, your choice. So which one is simpler? I wouldn't know. Okay, which is the same thing. Now, import captions, that means if let's say you have captions that is already created and you just want to import, okay, then it caters for SRT or VTT format. Okay, SRT is the subtitles format and VTT is also the subtitles format. Export captions means that you want to export whatever that you have created as a VTT format. So this one only caters for VTT. Now, once I click save, let me just call that in. What name did I save a notepad? This one. Notepad. Now, it looks something like this. So web VTT, captions, Articulate closed captions. Then this one, you have the time period there. I'm Kevin, remember, blah, blah, blah. And the second one, you have the time period. And then Kevin, don't sit. It will only take a minute here. So this is how the subtitles look like. Okay. Now, other than that, let's click save and close. Now, how would the subtitles look like? Let me preview.
I'm Kevin, remember? You wanted to see me today?
So this is how the subtitles look like. Now, in order to change the font size or the font type, it will be under the 5th or 6th session like that, which is under the player controls. Okay, any questions? Nana, that's great. Yeah, so proceed to do the captions first. Okay, I'll give you some time, around 2 minutes. By 2:50, I will continue on. You just need to create like 2 or 3 subtitles so that you can know the experience of it. Meanwhile, you can ask me any questions.
Lena, sorry, Casey here. I already included the caption, so that's edit caption, right? Am I right? Okay.
Yes.
And then I copied the text, like, I'm Kevin, you wanted to see blah, blah, blah. And then I saved and closed it. However, when I tried to click preview, upper right,
Yeah.
I'm Kevin,
it
remember?
doesn't show. Something
You need
like
to
that.
click under the CC. Click this button.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay.
CC means that it's closed captions. You can
What is it?
automatically just switch it on
Oh.
if you want. This one you can create based on the variables.
Okay, and then yours is smaller than mine. That's something we will talk about in the future discussion, correct?
This one definitely based on the resolution. Okay. So if not mistaken, my monitor is bigger.
Ooh. Mine is it's kind of big. It looks awkward though.
Yeah.
I'll
So
send a
definitely
screenshot.
is, yeah. So definitely is based on the resolution. How, let's say, let me just do this. Now, if let's say your display settings, if not mistaken, under monitor tool, mine is actually showing 100% under this pixel. Yeah, so you need to check your monitor resolution as well. So if your resolution is smaller, definitely is bigger. So this one depends on the monitor resolution.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Got that.
Yeah. So Lisa, you got a question?
Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
Where do I start for the caption?
Edit captions. Once you click under the video, okay, you can click
Okay.
under edit captions.
But I don't see edit caption. Is it under
Video tools
options?
options above.
Okay, wait, options? I don't have
Video-
that options. I have
You click under the video first, the thumbnail here.
okay, I
Then,
have until help, but after help there's no
because you haven't selected a video.
oh I've select oh okay, I need to click on the video. Okay, got it.
Yes.
Then okay, and then add
video tools
captions.
option, edit captions. Yes.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Because your slide size, Casey, your slide size, design slide size, mine is actually 1280 by 960.
1280. Copy.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's go back to video tools option. Now, after you have created your captions, okay, so the font size, I will only cater under session 6 that you can change, then which is under the player controls. Then now, how can you showcase, let's say just now Casey asked, why is it much bigger for her than it's much smaller for me? Okay, that means all these things, it depends on the resolution of the monitor itself. Now, whenever I see your screens, in a sense that you all share your screens with me, sometimes I see, wow, so small. Okay, why is that? Because your pixels is very little. So now, basically, how do I change on that? Definitely, I want, if not mistaken, you can go under display settings, click under the first, mine is the first primary monitor. Then after that, I can check my resolution here. Mine is 1920. Okay, it depends on you, your your computer capability as well. Okay, so that's where you sometimes need to actually expand for me the timeline so that you can see all the elements. Okay, and sometimes whenever you click under the triggers, not all the triggers are being shown. Okay, that's where you need to actually squeeze the resolution a bit. Okay, so for developers, for content developers especially, okay, content developers, normally we have big screens. Okay, at least 1920 pixel. Okay, now my computer inch is 15 inch. Okay, which is sufficient. I don't go for 12-inch one. Even my teammates are also going with 15-inch, especially the instructional designers. Graphic designers, they need bigger monitors. They use PC one. Instructional designers, we actually equip them with laptops. So that means at least 15-inch. That's it. Okay. Then we have a second monitor for them as well. Okay. Now, any questions or any comments? Media side, Saudara Virayak or Sokuntia? Did I comment right?
Yeah, you're right.
You're right.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Yeah. Thank you for that. Right now, let's proceed to edit video. Now, edit video is that now Storyline only provides you with basic editing of the video. Once you click under this edit video lah. Okay, now trim means that you can trim the beginning and the ending of the video. That means these blue lines will occur, the blue shaded ones. So if you uncheck, then it will be gone. So if you check again, then this one, you can actually change this. So meaning that I just want to actually trim from 7.7 seconds up to the end. So you can do that. So this is how we actually trim certain videos. If let's say certain clients only want 3 megabytes per video. Okay, we duplicate the slides first and then we trim the video also. Okay, so this is how we do. Now, crop side of things, which is over here. Crop size, definitely you can crop to focus into certain areas only. Okay, so this is a thing. Now, volume, you can maintain the volume or you want to increase by percentage or decrease the percentage. Okay, brightness, contrast, you can also control, and as well as insert logo. So I just uncheck for trim and crop. Okay, and you want to change the video, you can as well. Okay, now right here below, let's say my playhead is over here. Now position, which is 13.225, which is where my playhead is, the blue line itself. Total duration, which is 29.257, which is towards the end. Trim start. Once you put trim, it will change accordingly. Okay, so if you trim, then it will increase the time trim start and trim end. Okay, the trim duration, which is 25 seconds. Source, crop, your choice. Okay, so this is the thing that we definitely train you on. Okay, so I hope that you all know whenever you need to edit the videos, you all need to take a look on all these seconds. Where do you pause? Then only you call certain layers, and when do you need to put it into different slides even. Okay, I believe Veria and Saudara will know this because they have been doing all these things all the while. Okay, yeah. So right now, I do not trim. So I just click close. Okay. Now, one more thing. Okay, so we have done under the video already. So arrange all these things we don't go through because we hope that for PowerPoint side, you already know this. Okay. Now, one more thing is that you need to create layers. Okay, so same thing because up to 12 seconds at a time, a layer actually calls on. Okay, and it asks you, think about it. This manager makes use of whether this manager is effective or not effective, something like this. Okay, so at 12 seconds, so let me put on 12 seconds. I just click under 12 seconds within my timeline. Then I can create my cue point manually as well. Now, earlier this morning, how do we synchronize? We synchronize via this play button. So I can create manually as well. So this is where I click 12 seconds, right click, create cue point at playhead. Okay, so my cue point is already created. Next thing is I want to create a layer. Okay, so creating a layer, I can double click, name my layer as well. Okay, later on, I'll pass you some time, don't worry. Okay, once you create the layer, then insert picture from file. Okay, and then you proceed to your participant folder, separate folders, 1 exercises, session 2, source. Now, images, we make use of BG Texture Light. okay, or BG light texture, which is under session 2, source images. Then I click open, which is a small file, okay. So then I increase. Now, make known to you all, I only increase up to here because I want to see how it progresses for the video, okay. And then after that, I want to put in a character as well, which is a photographic character under Atsumi. Okay, so let me choose think. Let's see, where is think? This one is a good think. Okay, then I increase the size. Images that are very nice, you plan to actually use it wisely. That is very big size one. Okay, now once you put in any characters, it converts into an image. So under format, you can also crop. Okay, so if you want to crop, you can also crop up to the layer portion, which is up to this square, your choice, so that it's cleaner that way. Okay, then sometimes if you want to insert any text, I proceed to insert text box, then increase the font size. Think about it. What makes a project manager effective or not effective? Okay, something like this. Okay, now start doing this. You only put in 3 different elements, create a layer as well, and as well as create a cue point based on the base layer. Then we create a layer that is called think, and then you put on these 3 different images. The first image, which is under session 2, source images, then you choose BG light texture. The second one, which is a character that you put in, that is Atsumi character, which is a thinking pose. Okay, and then after that, you put in a text box. Once you're done, you can put a thumbs up.
Elena, for me, Atsumi is asking to download. So can I take any other character?
Yeah, can.
Yeah, okay.
I thought that's the basic Atsumi. Anyway, if you need to make use of other characters, just make use. Okay, Casey has finished. How about Shira as well as Lisa? Now, Cambodia side, for Satapana, where are you all located? Is it Siem Reap? Or all the locations? Where's the HQ actually for Satapana?
In Phnom Penh.
Oh, Phnom Penh.
Phnom Penh
Okay.
city. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've been to Siem Reap and Phnom Penh before. Wow, that time was so hot. When we visited Siem Reap, I like the place, just that it's so hot. When we visited, the towel that I'm holding, the whole thing actually you can squeeze with the sweat coming out.
What month did you visit Siem Reap?
I think around April, if not mistaken.
April is the hottest month of the year.
Goodness. Oh, goodness. Yeah. So, yeah, I think I visited Siem Reap around, if not mistaken, 8 years ago. Yeah.
No, it's so much different. It's so much different.
What is different?
I mean the infrastructure right now.
Okay. Yeah, understood. So back then I visited I think I visited 3 to 4 different Wats. Okay, that is Angkor Wat. Then there is another Wat that is only 15 minutes away. That one I particularly like, which is starting with B1, the word B1, if not mistaken.
I
That
think
one
it's
you
Bayon Temple.
yes,
Only
yes,
they
yes,
have.
Bayon Temple. Yes, that's the one. And you have 4 different faces, one, if not mistaken, of the statue itself. So that one I particularly like. And for one of the place, I can't recall which temple already because I went there with 2 other friends. And once I've been there, then they say, oh, do you want to climb up? Then I see the friends, don't want already. They were so hot, and that's where they are, how you call, they are resting under the shade. So I say, come all this way already. So I just go up by myself lah. Then I took certain pictures. Yeah, those are the things lah. If not mistaken, it's Angkor Wat. Yeah. Okay, so those are the experience that I go through. I like traveling. Yeah. Okay, so right now proceed. Okay, now, so once you have 3 different elements, okay, same thing like PowerPoint. If you have this image, let's say you put in different sequence. So now, different sequence, sometimes you put towards the last. Okay, towards the last, that means this image itself is actually here. That means it blocks your text, it blocks the character. Okay, now it's the same thing, like you can actually drag up or drag down, your choice. Or it's the same thing like you want to bring to front or send to back, your choice as well. Okay, so now things are like that. Okay, now for this layer itself, think layer, we want to insert one more thing, which is a voice. Okay, so right now I want you all to insert audio. Earlier on, we have tried audio from file. So right now, I want you all to try record mic even. Now, record mic means that it gives you a dialog box that you just can record. Okay, now let's try to record. Once I click the red button, I'm just going to read this text. Think about it. What makes a project manager effective or not effective? Then I click save. And then the wavy lines is actually appearing to me. Okay, so if let's say you want to actually edit it, you can play it about it. What makes a project manager effective or not effective? Okay, or you want to actually put it louder. So let's say something like this. Then you play again. Think about it. What makes a project manager effective or not effective? Okay, then I click save. Okay, so this is the basic that we actually train you. Okay, so this is recording from mic. Okay, now you can add captions as well. Okay, your choice. Or if you choose to export audio, that means it will export as an MP3 file. Okay, so this one, it cannot export as a WAV file. It only exports as an MP3 format. Okay, now furthermore, okay, we go back to the video. Okay, the base layer called video. After you have inserted the audio, try to record. I give you a few 1 minute to record. 3:10 we will continue on. Okay. So I believe all of y'all have recorded the voice already. So after you have recorded, just go back to the base layer. Okay, thank you, Casey. Now, have you all put the cue point at 12 seconds? Okay, how to put? That means put the playhead there at 12 seconds. Then after that, you right click, create cue point at playhead. That's it. Okay. Now, once you created, so at 12 seconds, you want to call the layer in. Because if you didn't do that, that means once I preview, it doesn't call the layer. Okay, so that means I need to create a trigger, okay, that is show layer, which is called think layer upon when, okay, timeline reaches. Okay, you got timeline starts, timeline ends, then timeline reaches. So layers itself also you got certain timelines. Okay, so timeline reaches at cue point. Okay, whether you want to set certain cue points or certain time, your choice. So if you set certain time, that means it asks you for the seconds to be actually show the layer. So if you put cue points, definitely the one that you have created. Okay, so yeah, do this. Show layer, which is called think layer, upon when, upon timeline reaches. For cue point, which is already created, mine is cue point 1 at 12 seconds. Okay, and then after that, I just click OK. Now, you do not need to preview. Let me preview.
I'm Kevin, remember? You wanted to see me today? Something about a survey?
Right, Kevin. Don't sit. I
Now,
can only take a minute here.
Up to
It's
12
not a very
seconds.
difficult job, but it needs to be done accurately and it needs to be done correctly.
Okay,
What happens? It conflicts with the video.
Why don't you just put all the questions in an email?
Okay.
Send it off to me and I'll get
And the
back to you
video
as soon as I
still
can.
keeps playing.
Okay?
Okay. The video still keeps playing and this layer does not disappear. What to do? How to resolve this? Can anyone tell me? What's the problem? The problem is that two things conflict. That means the layer conflicting with the video. That's one thing. Second thing, the layer shows, then it does not disappear. How to control that? How to resolve it? Can anyone tell me?
Add another trigger.
Okay, another trigger. That means you want to close the layer and
Yeah.
sometimes you want to pause the video as well. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's one way. Another way. Any ideas?
Maybe at the layer for tick, we drag the three layers to shorten a bit so that they disappear. Can it be?
Layers disappear.
Is it possible? Or is it on the base layer?
Oh, that you say that the layer, but my layer is only 6 seconds.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So any other ideas? No. Okay. Now, this option itself, no triggers are involved. Okay. Now, Shira's side of things, the first option that she said to create triggers, which is more, more detailed. If you want to eliminate triggers, you should follow this way. Okay. If you want to create more triggers, that means you need to create pause trigger to pause the video. Okay. Then after that, once this, upon timeline ends under this layer, it auto closes. So two different triggers that you need to create. Okay, so the way that I'm going to show is without any triggers. Where do you go for? Now, under think layer, layer properties. Okay, there is properties for this one and for this one as well. Now, for the base layer properties is somewhat different. You have slight advances by user when revisiting automatically decide. This one I will brief you later. And also the button controls for the next and previous buttons. And for the layer, it also has a different one. Okay, so now let me explain the visibility of it. Hide other slide layers. When you have layers, if you choose this option, if you uncheck this option, that means all the layers will be shown. Okay, so this is the option there. Hide objects on base layer. Whenever this layer is shown, your base layer will be automatically disappeared. Okay, whether this one is what you want as well. Okay, hide slide layer when timeline finishes. Since I'm only highlighting for thing, so that means once it's upon 6 seconds that it ended, then I want to hide it. Okay, so this one, I can make a check because this is what I want. Allow seeking. What is allow seeking? Now, seeking means that you want to fast forward or rewind. Okay, so if yes, definitely a seek bar will be right at the bottom for you to fast forward or rewind. Okay, now automatically decide, that means normally is no. Okay, but however, it depends on the timeline of your slide as well. If let's say your slide is more than 10 minutes, definitely automatic will be put on a yes for you. Okay, so this one, it allows storyline to decide for you. Okay, so this one we just ignore. Okay, now for base layer controls, prevent the user from clicking on the base layer. Now, what is this? If let's say your layer is shown, now let's say I got 3 items there. Okay, so I click on here, I can immediately just click under the second item in order to call the different layer. Okay, so I want to prevent user clicking on the base layer. So that means they need to click the close button, close the layer, go back to the base layer, then the base layer, then only you can click. Okay, so this is preventing. Now, pause timeline of base layer, which is pausing the video inside the base layer. So I just need to do this check also. So 2 things checked already, which is hide slide layer when timeline finishes and pause timeline of base layer. Okay, now revisit. When revisiting, what is this? Automatically decide, reset to initial state and resume save state. Okay, now let me explain what is reset to initial state first. Now, if let's say you got 5 slides, okay, then I've actually visited slide 1, then slide 2, okay. In slide 2, I got 3 things to visit. I click under the pop-up 1, okay, the layer actually appears, and then suddenly a call comes in. Say, for example, I need to go off, so that means I need to switch off my LMS, I need to switch off my laptop and proceed out, okay. Now, once I come back the following week or following month, okay, and then reset to initial state means what? It goes back to slide 2 at the beginning of slide 2. Okay, beginning of the slide, reset to initial state. Okay, it does not call for the pop-up 1 even. For resume save state, what does it mean? That means once I go back, okay, I switch that on. That means under slide 2, the pop-up 1 is already appearing for me. Okay, that is resuming where I left off. So it depends on your needs as well under the content area. Most of the quizzes, you have even resume save state or reset to initial state. So you can control this via slides or layers as well. Okay, so now this one is quite important for most of you all. Okay, for the first time, definitely we leave that to automatic. Okay, and then the last part that we do, okay, after it's being constructed, the last part we will revisit this. Now, why we need to revisit? Because that's the testing that we do, okay, for the learner side. So learners will prompt to us, what if I need to go back? Okay, what if I need to revisit this? Will it actually revisit? Okay, will it actually reattempt for you, or will it log for you? Okay, these are the things that definitely is taking into consideration. So take note of that. Okay, now automatically decide, that means it allows storyline to decide for you. More or less, it will decide for resume save state. Okay, so this one I also plan to ignore. Okay, so the only thing that I change is hide slide layer when timeline finishes and pause timeline on base layer. Then after that, I click close. Now, right now, I start to preview.
I'm Kevin, remember? You wanted to see me today? Something about a survey?
Right, Kevin. Kevin. Don't sit. I can only take a minute here. It's not a very difficult job, but it needs to be
11,
done.
12. Think about it. What makes a project so it doesn't conflict with the video? Not effective. Once the
accurately
layer
and needs to be
done,
correctly.
close off,
Okay,
continues with the
could you tell
video.
me something about it? Like what the scope of it is, what to do?
Okay,
Why don't
so this part of thing is quite interactive because you add on certain content towards your video. Okay, so this is a part. So any questions coming from the floor? If y'all got no questions, I have
No
questions for you
questions.
all. If y'all got no questions, I have questions for you all, you know. Huh. Okay. Now, my question is, what if I want to add a yes or no button? If I want to create a question base, so how would I add it? Okay. So I just, let me save this first. Save as. 214. Okay. Now, if I want to add two different buttons here, yes, no. Okay. Now, button 2, it says no, no BTN, and yes BTN. Okay. Now, yes BTN means that no, this person, that means you can continue with the video. No means that you need to revisit the video. That means it restarts again. Okay. So how do we do this too? Based on the layer. Okay. Now, firstly, once you put on these two buttons, you need to close off the layer properties first. That means I need to don't want this one, not to say this one. Yes, I don't want this one. And then I just need to pause timeline of base layer based on these layer properties. I just switch off this one once I put on certain buttons there. Okay. Now, yes means that I just close off the layer. Okay. So that means I need to create a trigger that is hide layer. Okay. Because I'm doing under think layer. Okay. Then hide which layer, which is this layer, upon user clicks for yes button. Okay, so once it hides, it still continues with the video. Okay, now once it's no, that means I need to restart everything. How do you restart? So I click under the no button, create a trigger. I don't hide layer right now. What do? I jump to slide. Which slide? The existing slide, this slide. That means this 1.1 slide again upon user clicks on no button. That's how you do it. Okay, so right now, let me preview.
I'm Kevin, remember? You wanted to see me today? Something about a survey?
Right, Kevin. Kevin. Don't sit. I can only take a minute here. It's not a very difficult job, but it needs to be done.
Think about it. What makes a project manager effective or not effective? Okay, now it does not conflict with your video, okay, the voice, okay, and it pauses here, okay, because it requires the user to actually select the options. Which one is better? I'm not sure. Okay, depends on your content. Okay, so if you click yes, it will continue with the
It needs to be done
video.
correctly.
Okay,
Okay, so let me replay this.
I'm Kevin, remember? You wanted to see me today? Something about a survey?
Right, Kevin. Kevin. Don't sit. I can only take a minute here. It's not a very difficult job, but it needs to be done.
Okay, about it. What makes a project manager effective or not effective? So upon you click no, it restarts.
I'm Kevin, remember?
Restarts the
You wanted to see
slide.
me today? Something.
That's all. Okay. Now, if let's say you want the seek bar, just now that I mentioned the seek bar here. Let's say when revisiting, no, not this one. Okay. Allow seeking, yes. Say for example.
I'm Kevin, remember?
Oh, still none. Oh, click the wrong thing, sorry. Now, under player defaults, okay, player features here, under the base layer, you can click under custom for the selected slides, okay, so that you switch on for the SIG bar, okay. Once you switch that on, you can actually fast forward or rewind.
I'm Kevin, remember? You wanted
Here.
Okay.
you wanted to see me today?
Manager effective or not? What makes a project manager effective or not effective? Okay, so this is how you switch the SIG bar on. Any questions? Any feedback, comments, or challenges that you may face, or ask me any questions? Okay. Nana. Okay. Okay, great. Okay, so right now it's coming to 3:30 already. We will take an early break. Okay, since we have finished one interaction, save your file. Okay, later on we'll move into the next interaction if you all got no questions for me. Okay, so right now we will take a 15-minute break. Is that all right? Or a 10-minute break?
15-minute break.
Okay, Ken, you want to take your lunch, is it?
Yeah.
Can, no problem. So that's where we will come back at 3:40.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Alina, I have a question.
Yep.
Shall I ask you after 15 minutes or?
No. You can ask me now.
Okay, sorry. Okay, because I got stuck just now. Sorry, I had some distractions. Okay, can I share my screen?
Okay, Ken, go ahead.
Okay, I got lost actually. Okay, I did the video. Okay, and I did this. This is the second, I think, this part. I did this, and I couldn't. How to say? When I project, I preview. I'm still not getting this think about it thing that I did.
Okay.
I just want to know where's the mistake.
Okay. Can you scroll up for your timeline?
Timeline. Oh, this one.
Yeah, scroll up. Okay, you put the voice ready. Can you go back to video base layer?
Video base layer, where is
On
that?
the right?
Left, right. Oh, this one.
Video. Yes,
Okay.
that's the base layer. Put the cue point at 12 seconds. The playhead. Click under the yes, 12 seconds.
Oh, I
Click
need
under
to.
12. Click
Oh,
under
I just
12.
need to click. Okay.
Yes. Click under 12.
Okay.
Yes, that's the playhead. Right click under the playhead.
Right click. Here.
Right click. Yes. Create cue point at playhead. Okay.
Uh,
Now, right now, how to call the layer? In order to call the think layer, that means you need to create a trigger.
Okay.
Create a trigger.
This one?
No, trigger
No.
is on top.
Oh, okay. This one.
On top. Yes. Show layer, the action is show layer, which is think layer when. Click under timeline starts, choose the option, scroll down. Timeline reaches. Cue point, which is cue point 1.
Which is correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, click OK. And furthermore, you need to click under the think layer again. Okay. Let's check under the layer properties, the gearbox at the right side corner, the bottom right corner. You see the gearbox? Yes. You need to make a check under the third option, hide slide layer when timeline finishes. Yes.
Okay.
Then you click close.
Okay.
Okay. Did you create a yes or no button? No. Okay. So
I tried. I couldn't actually. Okay.
Okay. So you can preview right now.
Preview. Okay.
You don't fast forward, huh? 12 seconds, I think it's somewhere around here already. Yeah, it comes out. Think about it. What makes a project manager? See whether it closes off. Yes, it continues. Okay?
Okay. So this is, I can close this, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Anything else?
Then okay, but I try to put the yes or no.
Yeah. So yes or no, you can insert,
Oh,
go to
insert.
insert
Okay.
ribbon,
Oh, okay.
then button towards the right. Yeah.
Okay.
Then create yes and no button. Type in yes. Okay.
And then
Copy the button. Copy the button and paste it. Control C, Control V. Yeah. Then type in no. Okay. So right now, okay, definitely for yes, I need to continue with the video. For no, definitely it restarts. Let's say lah. Okay.
Okay.
So for yes button, definitely we just need to hide this layer. That means it continues with the video. So meaning that click under yes.
Okay.
Click the new trigger.
This one. Okay.
Yeah. And then hide layer. Yeah. User clicks on the button 1, which is right.
Okay. Then okay.
Yes.
Okay. And then this
No
one will be another.
button. It resets. Yes, another trigger. That's right. Action is jump to slide.
And button
Okay.
2. Okay.
No. Slide, you need to change to the slide number.
Oh.
This is calling next slide, which is wrong. You need to change this slide.
This. Oh, this slide. Oh, okay.
Yes.
And
That means it calls back the same slide again so that it restarts. Then click OK. Now for this part, once you put in the buttons, you need to switch off certain things under the layer properties. Where's the layer properties? The gearbox at the bottom right corner.
Oh, over here I need to untick this.
Yes, that's where. So
Okay.
uncheck, tick close, preview. Otherwise, it will automatically hide once the timeline ends for the layer. Okay?
Okay. So that's all right.
Yes. Save your
Thank you
file.
so much.
Save
Okay,
the file.
save.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
No problem. So is everyone back? Put a thumbs up if you are back. We are right now 3:40 or 3:41 already. Casey is back. Okay, Sadara, you put your hands up. Okay, yeah. Sukuntia also back. Shira also back. Louisa also back. Okay, great. So we shall continue from here. Okay. Now, the next interaction that we want to create is this. Okay. Now, under timeline, okay, we want to create a synchronization of this. So the content definitely we did already. So you just need to import the PowerPoint, and then after that you can synchronize it with the voice. Okay, so for this we will make use of text-to-speech software. So Sadara, you got question? You put your hands up.
No, I try to take it off.
Okay, can. Now this one is that once you put on this voiceover, in this lesson, we will learn how to only it follows with the bullet points one by one. Now, the bullet points is also supported with the sound effect. Tuk, tuk, tuk. Okay. Now, with this, how can you do this in PowerPoint itself? Can you do this in PowerPoint? Can you? Okay, so you're not sure whether you can do this in PowerPoint. Okay, now sometimes right now the PowerPoint version also can do synchronizing of the voiceover. Okay, but we are not sure whether can synchronize with the sound effect or not. Okay, so these things is very similar to how called to Storyline as well. Storyline side, sometimes you need to work around in order to create it. Okay, so right now let me show you how. Go back into this Storyline file. Okay, and right now we want to import the slide first. How can you import? Go to File, Import, PowerPoint. Okay, now you have several things to import, so we will first touch on PowerPoint
Alina?
first. Yes?
Hello.
Oh, I'm not sharing my
Sorry,
screen now.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not sure if you're sharing your screen, but from my end, it's not there.
Yes, sorry, I forgot to
Thank
share my
you.
screen. Okay, now in order to import from PowerPoint, you need to go to File, Import, PowerPoint. Okay, now once you do that, okay, you need to go to browse through your participant folder. That is 1 exercises, session 2. Then do you see content source? Okay, I need you all to do this first. Okay, so go to File, Import, PowerPoint. Okay, then browse through your participant folder. Then go into 1 exercises, session 2, choose content source. Then after which you click open. Now, once you click open, this one, it depends on how many slides within the PowerPoint itself. So for you, it may be slower, okay, because this is the first time that you import from PowerPoint. Okay, and plus it depends also one slide itself, whether it has a lot of objects in there. Okay, so all these things, it actually depends on the slides itself. So once you have this screen, okay, you need to import certain slides. Okay, so now you can click under none to deselect everything. Okay, and then you only choose lesson objective. Anyone got this problem in doing this? If you have a challenge or certain times that your PowerPoint isn't complied, okay, that's where we need to know as well. If you reach to this section, put a thumbs up. Thank you, Casey.
Alina, sorry. Where do I start again?
Go to File, Import,
File, file, import, and then PowerPoint.
PowerPoint.
Yes,
And
okay.
browse through your participant folder.
Okay, session 2, session 2
content
and
source.
content source. Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Then
it's reading. It's reading.
yes. Once you manage to read, okay, you click none over here. Then I just want you all to select lesson objectives. Shaira, did you manage to import from PowerPoint?
Yes.
Okay, great.
And import.
So we are waiting for Lisa's side.
It's still importing.
Mhm. Because Biocon itself, you may face certain problems because I faced certain issues with JustBase notebook.
Okay.
So
Oh.
see whether you can import.
Okay, yes. Then I'll get 2.1 lesson objective.
Yes. So select
Okay.
that. Okay. Now, after which, for Sokuntia, did you manage to import? Oh, maybe she's busy. Okay, so we shall proceed then. Now, once you start to import, you have insert into scene. Scene name is here. So it's up to you whether you want to put into new scene or the current scene. Now, usually we leave this by default. Okay, why we do this is because after that you can resequence your slides also and rename your slides as well. So this is where we do not rename them, we just leave it by default first. Okay, and then after which we import. Now, once we import, it depends on the elements within the slide. Okay, so this is a part that sometimes you may face certain errors under the PowerPoint compliance side. Okay, once you import, you have this slide itself. Once you manage to put a thumbs up. Okay, great. Okay, Shaira. Okay, good. Okay, now for Mac users, I do not depend on you all since you all haven't installed the virtual OS. Okay, now we just want to maintain the content, which is the text. So that means all the rest of the things we just remove first. Okay, so I just press the delete under the keyboard. Okay, I just maintain it here. Okay, the text itself. Now, one thing for sure, whenever we import from PowerPoint, it creates an additional trigger for you. Okay, what is that trigger? Now, by default, it creates these two triggers, which is jump to slide and jump to slide for previous slide as well. Jump to next slide and jump to previous slide whenever I click under the next button and previous button accordingly. Now, it creates an additional trigger, which is this trigger, okay, which is jump to next slide when timeline ends on the slide. Since we are creating interactions, so this means that we need to remove this trigger. Don't press remove first, huh? Okay. Now the best way to remove is how? That means we go back to story view, okay, and then we click under this slide, okay, under the second slide, and how to remove? Go under slide advances. Okay, right below there, which is under slide properties, there is a drop down. Automatic means that it depends on the timeline. Once the timeline ends, it will advance to the next slide. So that means we want to by user. Interaction by user, that means they need to click under the next button, only it advances. Okay, so this is where we click under by user. Now, once you click, the trigger is automatically gone. Okay, so this is where this is the best way to remove that particular trigger every single time when you import from PowerPoint. Okay, you need to do this step. Okay, so that means you can go slide by slide to remove that additional trigger, or you can just do this. Okay, if you have another slide here, for example, let's say something like this, then I just select one slide, I Control A, just one shot, I can do this. By user, I can just switch. Okay, so this is the thing that we definitely train you for. Okay, now furthermore, once it's done, we need to customize further, okay, to show the character, okay, and to showcase how called the animation as well. This is where you work on the animation more. So let's say for characters, if you can choose any characters, photographic character. Then I choose pose, holding a sign, that is holding left and right, left, okay? Now, holding to the side means that the facial expression is facing to you, and holding towards the left, that means the facial expression is going towards the left, okay? So these are the two things that we want to create. So let's say I select the first one first, okay? And then I click insert. Now, the image is very small, so that's where I need to increase this, something like this. And I put this text to bring to front, and I reorganize a bit, something like this. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So do this. Just add a character, then bring the fonts to the front. Okay. Now, once it's done, okay, I need you all to select this text itself. We want to add in a voiceover. Okay, now let's try text to speech right now. So just now we tried record from mic already. So right now we want to test text to speech. That's where I just copy this text and proceed to audio. I select text to speech. Now, text to speech itself, you have several languages that you can select from. It doesn't have Cambodian or doesn't have Philippine language, and it doesn't have even Malay language. So the best choice is either English that you fall for, okay? And the next choice under here, which one? Spanish, Romanian, Portuguese. For Korean, Japanese also you have, yeah, and Chinese Mandarin, okay? Now, firstly, we need to choose English US, okay, since this one is English. Then after that, you choose what language do you want already. Then you choose which talent do you want, okay? So this one is all female, Joanna, Kendra, Kimberly, Sally. So most of the time we choose Joanna, okay? Now, text to speech, definitely it comes from the computer base, okay? So now, if you are not connected to the internet, okay, this one will not work for you because this one is from Articulate Server. So this one will need the internet service, okay? So I just paste my text, and if you want to generate the closed captions, you can generate by clicking on the chat box, okay? And after which, I just read this one. In this lesson, we will learn how to, and after that, I click insert. Now, how does it sound like? It will sound something like this.
In this lesson, we will learn how to.
Okay, which is how called computer based. Okay, so if you do not like this, now we would strongly recommend you all to use text to speech. Now there are a lot of AI voices right now, okay, that does not utilize your own voice if you are too shy to actually record your own voice. So that means you can introduce the AI voices. Now, what are the AI voices out there? We definitely go for Play HT, which I already typed in inside the chat room, okay? And another website, let me just call out that one. What is that already? Listener, I think, something like that. Recall. No. Listener. This one. Let me copy this. I always forget this website. Now, I already typed in or already put inside the chat room. Okay, so this is one website that you can go for, which is AI Voices as well. So this one is subscribing through number of tags. Okay, so definitely I go for solo. Okay, solo means that is only perfect for solo producers. This one is perfect for startups. Now, solo means that is only one voice. Okay, so startup, that is you can choose several voices. Okay, so this one you can depend on. So if you run out of text, okay, you can subscribe more. This one has no time limit, if not mistaken. Now, play.ht itself, play.ht. You have also AI voices. Pricing is that you purchase by voice as well. So this one, the charges is all USD. Okay. So now, play.ht is slightly more expensive. We normally just purchase around, well, they have changed it or pay monthly. Okay. So we usually just purchase the personal, okay, because 20,000 words is sufficient for one course. Okay, when we need more voices, then we can actually upgrade. So now, standard voices, some of the voices that you can get, which is from Storyline already. If you do not want to make use of standard voices, we actually ask you to subscribe to $39. That means you have premium voices. Premium voices, that means you can listen to the intonation of the voices. You can have even emotions coming out from the voices as well. Okay, so premium voices is more to what I actually recommend to all of our users lah. Okay, instead of recording through a talent, there are pros and cons to this. Okay, now if let's say you have voices that is recording technical terms in a sense that you want to record, let's say, technical terms based on the flight, okay, based on the air freight and based on the banking side. These technical terms, some of the AI voices cannot read, okay? And most of the time, it cannot read also based on the slang that you want. Okay, so these are the things that sometimes after the AI voices is generated, sometimes you need to check through as well. Okay, once you check through, if the voices is right, then you can use it. If the voices is not right, that means you need to tweak. That means sometimes you just change certain spellings or change certain, you just add the apostrophe or something like that, or change certain alphabet and it can pronounce it right. So that's your choice. Okay, so these are the things that we definitely provide to you. Okay, so play.ht is one of the customer that recommended us to use this, so that's where I recommend to you all as well, listener as well. Okay, so this is another customer that actually provided to me of which one does she use, so I recommended to her play.ht as well. Okay, so these two are the text-to-speech software. Okay, now you are able to download the voices no matter what, okay? But if not mistaken, you are able to try on the voices for play.ht for only 100 words, okay? So bear in mind that you can try, but not necessarily you can make use of it, yeah. So right now, for standard voices, okay, so I put in this lesson, we will learn how to, coming back to Storyliner, okay? And the timeline ending is around 2 seconds. Okay, so now after 2 seconds, then the bullet points will start to come out. Okay, so right now I just need you all to click under this text box. How to animate? That means I just go into animations. Under none, I put in fly in. Now, of course, PowerPoint has more animations. Okay, so if there's more, most likely for Storyline, it will convert it into fade in, fade out for you if it is not supported. Okay, so it will convert into fade out, fade in for you. That's it. So now for this, we actually select fly in. Okay, effect options, I put from bottom, which is right. Okay, and by paragraph. That means it splits bullet by bullet. Okay, and then immediately I got the arrow there, as you all know this in the morning session. Okay, so now right now I don't do anything yet. I just preview, take a look.
In this lesson, we will learn how to.
Okay, now once I put in this lesson, we will learn how to, the bullet points already coming out because it's synchronizing, okay, accordingly, but it doesn't synchronize with my narration that I put on. Okay, so this is where I need to synchronize with my narration as well. So now, how do I synchronize? These three things, I actually push after only 2 seconds that it will appear. So now, just learn how to read from the timeline. Now, from 0 seconds, it will start to read this. In this lesson, we will learn how to, which is this text box as well as Atsumi will showcase. And then at 2 seconds, it will start to display all these 3 things together. So now, if let's say you want to put a gap in between, okay? So let's say I just want to put a gap, 1.5 seconds. So this is how I drag it. Okay, and after which I can just preview.
In this lesson, we will learn how to.
Okay, so 3 bullet points coming out one by one. Okay, and then if you need to support by sound effect, so click under the playhead here, which is synchronizing with the first bullet point, and then I can click insert audio. Now the audio is from file, so I go into session 2, source, audio, and I choose SFX bloop. Okay, now this bloop sound is very small file. Okay, so which sounds something like this. Okay, now immediately I can just copy, paste it, and just actually put it right here, align it according to the second bullet, and I paste it again, align it to the third bullet. Okay, and right now I just preview. So if it works, so start
In
doing
this
it.
lesson, we will learn how to.
Yeah, so start doing this. Once you're done, put a thumbs up.
Elena, the audio we are supposed to pick from file, right? Audio from file.
You mean the narration?
Yes, in this lesson we will learn that thing.
So you insert audio, text to speech.
Oh, text to speech. Okay, okay.
Yes, then choose the language that you want, then choose the talent that you want, then you copy the text, and then you click insert.
I'm supposed to copy the slides.
You are supposed to just copy this one, then insert audio, text to speech, paste it in here.
Oh, okay. Oh God.
Okay, Casey is done ready. Any questions coming from the floor? Or challenges? Feedback? Comments? Okay, is it working as expected?
Okay. Okay, wait.
Yep.
So
I'm
I've done
sorry.
until this. Oh, sorry, can I?
Yeah, go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay. Okay, I've done until this part. In this lesson, we will learn how to. I've done that. And what should I do next?
You click insert.
Okay, insert done.
Okay, and then after that, you need to click under the text, this text, go into animations.
I need to click the text.
Yes.
Copy.
In order to create animation. So now, after which you need to click under none, select fly in.
Okay, I think I've done that, but there's no fly in for my option. There was only fly out. Wait.
Did you click exit animation or entrance animation?
Oh, wait. Animation. Oh, Okay, I click format, animations. Under animations,
Not format,
is
under animations,
yeah,
fly
under
in,
but
entrance
there's no
animation.
entrance animation.
Under none, you need to choose fly in.
Oh, okay, sorry, I picked the wrong one. Okay, fly in. Okay, got it.
Okay, and then under effect options by the side, you need to click on by paragraph.
Okay, done.
Okay, then after that, click under the arrow under the text box.
Under the arrow. Okay.
Okay, then the 3 bullet points, you need to segregate them, something like this.
3 bullet points. I can pick myself, is it?
Yeah, you can drag it. Drag.
Oh. But the whole thing is dragging. So I need to drag the whole thing first, is it?
That means you select all 3 items or select one by one.
Okay, first is I select the first one, but when I'm dragging, everything is dragging together.
You select the first one, that means it's in this lesson or describe.
In this lesson.
So I need you to expand this first. You select describe.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it.
Okay, then you drag. Okay, Shaira is done also. Thank you.
Okay, got it. Done.
Okay, and then how to add the sound effect and where to get the sound effect. So definitely you need to insert audio from file. Then go under session 2, source audio. You choose Bloop.
Bloop. Okay.
Okay, now once you choose Bloop already, this one is a small little file. You need to arrange according to bullet 1, bullet 2, and bullet 3.
Okay, I think I've done.
Okay. Now, right now, okay, I want you all to discover how can you create more things for learning objectives. Let me just go in here. See this. Where is that? Oh, I did not create here.
In this lesson, we will learn how to.
Okay, I did not create it over here. Okay, so now sometimes you can create even what you call let's say in this lesson we will learn how to, then I click into it, then only the first learning objectives will come out. Okay, I want you all to explore. I give you all 15 minutes to explore on this. So now how do I create? I can just duplicate this slide. Okay, and then I remove all this text. I just cut and I create a button where I make use of a shape, for example. Okay, something like this. Then I paste. Oh, there are 3 bullet points only. Okay, something like this. Then I put 1, 2, 3. And then after which I want to paste this text. Okay, something like this. Now, this text will definitely appear only upon clicking 1, 2, 3. You can do that as well. Okay, or you can also do this. Duplicate slide. Let's say I just want to create one button. Explore. Okay, and that one button itself, I create a layer, objectives, for example, and then this text, I put it under the layer. Then it will showcase all of my objectives within the layer. So those are the things that you can actually explore. Okay. So this is the thing that we actually train you for. Not to say that, or this one is a standard learning objectives. You can create more extension to it or enlarge it, or sometimes you can create improvements of the courses as well. Okay, so this is a thing that you need to learn as well. Go into your creative mindset. Okay, and sometimes is that you can actually go through, like there is a sample out there in eLearning Heroes. That way, I got the back of the person within a computer screen. Then there are a lot of post-its around. So once I click on the post-it, it appears under the monitor. So that is one point of learning objectives as well. Okay, so I'll come back around 4:30. Okay, so I want you all to explore different ways of creating the learning objectives before we move on. Can we do that? Else I can just, okay. I don't need you all to present to me. Okay, so I'll come back around 4:30. Yeah. Oh, gone already, the text. Oh, come. Just come into here.
In this lesson, we will learn how to.
Hmm? Ah.
In this lesson, we will learn how to. 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 In this lesson, we will learn how to.
So any challenges? So any challenges that you can ask me? Yeah, Shaira already completed. That's great. So what have you done actually? Can you just explain? Not showing me the screen share.
Oh, I just, instead of someone holding a sign,
Mm-hmm.
I just use shapes,
Mm-hmm.
simple shapes, and it's going from the fly in from bottom, each one of it.
Ah, okay.
So
Or you
when
can.
I text to speech, instead of I do the by paragraph,
Uh-huh.
so I copy one by one according to the shape, so that I can the bloop sound will be, I can control the bloop sound where it should start.
Yeah. Okay. So this is one option that you have, or you can make use of post-its even. That's
Yeah.
where under the what you call this materials, where is that? Online training, separate folders, one exercise, session 2, source, images. So all these post-its is up to you to use. Okay, so individually, I can make use of 3 different post-its for 3 different bullet points. Yeah, those are the things. Yeah. So that's great. So how about the rest of your, what have you explored? They haven't completed. You still got 5 minutes to do before I move on into the next interaction.
Alina, how do I control the bloop sound? I can do it for the first one, but the second and third, it's like I'm not getting it.
Where is it? How did you
It's
do it for the second
it,
and third one?
I supposed to drag it, right? Copy.
Drag it or make it disappear lah. Because for my case, I'm not sure what is the second one that you did. So for my side, the second slide itself, I remove all the bloop sound and I put the bloop sound within the layer.
Oh, okay.
So the second point also is another layer that I call this. Then third one is also another bloop sound that I have. So whatever that is needed from the learners is clicking under the buttons here.
Okay, got it, thanks.
Yeah. For Malaysia side, I just want to ask you, Shaira, since you have completed, how do you pay your Air Selangor bill? Is it through Touch and Go?
You have online, I think.
Yeah, but I go through the banking online. 3 banks also don't have this Air Selangor right now. Goodness.
Actually, if you have the bill, you know the JomPay down there, there's a code.
Yes.
Just follow that.
Oh. Under whatever banking also can go through
Yes.
is it?
Just click the JomPay.
Oh, okay. Understood. Yeah, because I'm trying to go in, then I explore 3 banks also pun tak ada one. Goodness.
Usually, I just pay my bills according to the JomPay.
I'm afraid to use JomPay because there's 2 times that I used JomPay and they still come out tunggakan for me. So that's why I forget of using JomPay anymore. Okay, so right now I use Touch and Go to pay for my bills, and plus because since I'm actually moving house soon, okay, so this is where I need to print out the thing, so I cannot use Touch and Go anymore.
Understand.
Yeah.唉. Okay, no problem.
Okay.
This is my issue. No problem. I will go to Air Selangor website later. So 428 ready. Casey, have you completed? Okay, great. Lisa?
Yes, done.
Okay, so save your file. Now, once you save your file already, go back to story view. Now, for the introduction side, okay, now you have two different topics, which is introduction and the slides that you have imported just now. So if you want to join this together in one scene, okay, you can as well. How would you join it? So definitely I drag one slide to the 3 slides. So now, if let's say I want to drag it here, okay, you need to hold your mouse, wait until the blue arrow only appears. Or you want to drag it in between also can, or you want to drag it towards the last part. So once it confirms, you actually let go of your mouse. Okay, so this is how you can make things simple. So this is where once I import certain slides, I don't actually rename my scene name. Where do I want to locate, or what's the slide title even? So this is my reason for that. Okay, now after which I just name this to introduction. The empty scene I just remove. Okay, now I have 3 learning objectives. This is fine. Okay, so right now we want to move on into web object first before before I pass you some time to create one more optional exercises. Okay, now web object. So firstly, let me show you that screen. Where is that? Now, web object, it definitely caters for you, okay, if you want to bring in any internet resources to your e-learning courses itself. So like for me, I bring in the e-learning minds, okay, so I just put in the website and it actually caters for already. So I can click to navigate under training, and let's say I go into tool base and I go into articulate training. Oh, how come like that? Goodness. Skill base. Yeah, so something like that. Then learning experience design. Yeah, so I can read certain things about it. Okay, before I join the class. So these are additional resources that you can put for, okay, for all these web objects. Now, web objects means that this is how we join from one storyline file into another storyline file even. Okay, now how to join 2 different storyline files or more storyline files? That means you need to publish it out first. Okay, upload into LMS, get the directory link and put it on for your main course. Okay, then only you can link it. Okay, so this is where sometimes the demos that we actually use during the exhibition, okay, sometimes we actually create a demo for exhibition site to actually click, then it launches different browsers, okay, it goes into different course, but everything is linking through web object. Okay, then after you put in the link inside the main course, and then you publish one more time. Okay, so this is the thing that we go through definitely. Okay, now in order to add web object, definitely you need to add in a slide first. So let's create a new slide. Now, since we import from PowerPoint before, okay, your basic layouts right now, you have 2 or 3 more. Okay, these are all your basic layouts. Okay, if you copy the slide, definitely you have 2 more here. Okay, so these are the things that it will create your slide master for you. Okay, now basically we just want to select the first blank that we see. Okay, and then you proceed on to insert web object somewhere in the middle. Okay, now once you insert web object, you need to enter a web address. Now, web address means that it needs to be mobile compliant because we are catering for mobile. Okay, so I just put in elearningminds.com. Okay, And let's say you just want to test the link and it will call for different browsers, I believe. Yeah, it calls for this browser, then it will actually showcase. So let's go back to Storyline. It is a right link already. How do you want to display this web object? Display in slide or display in new browser window? So now just now for video, we recommended you to show in slide. How about web browsers? Okay, now web browsers means that it will prompt another browser to you. Okay, whether it's also the same thing. Okay, whether it goes through your security protocols, whether it complies, and plus also whether your learners are being educated. Okay, let's say they just click under the big close button, they will exceed the element. So this is where you need to train your learners for that. Okay, so if you display in slide, okay, no, if you display in new browser window, you can set whether no browser controls or the default. Then window size as well, full screen. Normally we go with full screen, not custom screen. Okay, so now display in slide, how should this web object behave? So that means I just want to load web object automatically. Okay, so this is where I need to click OK. Now, so once I click OK, a gray box will appear. So if I don't check, that means the Format Tools option for web object does not appear. Once I click on it, then only appears the options for me that I'll be able to edit. Okay, now web objects cannot be previewed. Okay, so if I say this, when I preview, definitely it comes out certain errors for me, which is something just like that. So meaning that it's best to publish it out. Okay, so this one, I just go through the basic publishing. So let's go through publishing. Okay, so we just want to publish as a web base. Let me publish into my desktop. Okay, then this one, the name of the title and publish into desktop so that by end of this training, I will remove that. Then publish. Now, once it's being done, okay, you have a dialog box that is successfully published. Then you have several options there, whether you want to choose FTP, open the folder, or view the project even, or even zip file or email. So yeah, something like this. So if you want to just view the project, you can view it. Then you click play.
I'm Kevin, remember?
So it loads up your website. Okay, so definitely is how you call is mobile compliant ready. So under training, let's go into Beyond training. I hope there's no error. Okay, so this one is the thing. Yeah. Okay, so this one you can actually browse through your choice. Any questions coming from the floor for web objects? None. Okay, that's good. Now let me proceed with this. Okay.
I'm going to show you how to get in and out of your kayak, both from a dock and from a beach. Before we get started,
How many types of strokes are there?
Okay, this is part of interactive video, an optional exercise for you. Okay, since we still have time, so definitely we have time to create. Okay, now, just now you heard the video that says how to get into a kayak. Okay, so that's where all these sources is actually in there already. The post-its, which I make use of this post-it, the yellow post-it, which is this one. Okay, videos also is also in there, which is all these videos. Okay, so the kayak one, which is a main video, and it branches into 3 different videos. Now, if I click under forward stroke,
the forward stroke is one of those strokes that
then it calls in another video, then I click close. Then after paddle stroke also, it will call in another video, then I click close. So this one is with the states as well. So you can see that the red highlighted one is being a selected state. Okay, so this morning we have dealt with something with state, so try to do that. Okay, now after I click the third one, then only back to video is coming out. how did I create that? Okay, so if you want to know, try to create. So once I click back to video, that means it's coming back to the main video. Then it continues to play. Okay, now this one is very simple. Okay, this video actually sits within one slide. Okay, and then it calls the layer, which is, let's say I replay this, calls the layer, which is the 3 post-its. Okay, then this post-it, the first post-it, will call for the first video, that is another layer. Okay, this one will call to another layer, this will call to another layer, this will call to another layer. And then the close button will just hide the slide layer. Then whenever all 3 is visited, only back to video is open up, that button. Okay, then once you click on back button, it returns to this video itself. Let's say something like this. Okay, then this back to video, return to this video. Try to do that. Okay, Ken, you have up to 5 or 510 like that. Okay, Ken. Okay, Casey say can. Okay, good. Now let's try. This one I won't do it together with you. Okay, I want you all to challenge yourself to create it. Post-its. Placing forward pattern.
Hi, I'm Katie from REI Outdoor School. I'm going to show you how to get in and out of your kayak, both from a dock and from a beach. Before we get started, if you're on a dock, you can feel free to use the cleat to help you get in and out of the boat. I'm going to give you a demonstration without a cleat. Hi, I'm Katie from REI Outdoor School. I'm going to show you how to get in and out of your kayak, both from a dock and from a beach. Before we get started,
Choose the different types of stroke to learn more.
Go over bracing, but
Hi, I'm Katie from REI Outdoor School. I'm going to show you how to get in and out of your kayak, both from a dock and from a beach. Before we get started,
Choose the different types of stroke to learn more.
go over bracing.
The forward
Today we're going to talk about paddle strokes. We're going to talk.
if you're on a dock, you can feel free to use the cleat to help.
Any challenges? Okay, so any challenges? It's already 5 p.m. Any concerns? Or are you all still trying?
Elena,
Yes.
I kind of forgot how to do I appear the first layer when
Yeah.
when after I create the Q point. How do I
Uh-huh.
make it appear? How do I make the layer appear?
Oh, that means you created like mine, is it?
Yes.
Okay. So for this, definitely Q point is under the base layer where the video of this kaya is. Then
Okay.
I just show the layer. That means I just create this trigger that I call this.
Oh, okay.
Then these three things would definitely call all these three. Okay.
Yes.
Then all the layers, definitely I pause the base layer of the video. That's where I need to pause timeline of base layer so that it will not conflict. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Any other challenges that you may have?
So when show layer when the object or the state of?
I just show the layer. That means for bracing, definitely I just show the layer. Now, once everything is visited, for example, how to come out with the back to main button? Are you saying that?
No. For the base layer, for the second layer to appear.
Oh, definitely this bracing, I just call for show layer, that's it.
Oh, show layer. Oh, okay.
Uh-huh. So any challenges? The rest of y'all? It's ready 508. Sadara, Virat, and Sokuntia, how are you all following this? They are busy eating their lunch.
I am fine with this.
Ah, okay. Do you have you installed the virtual OS?
Actually, I plan after the training. I plan to, because I have my personal MacBook, so I go to the computer shop, ask them
Okay.
whether they can install the parallel one for me or not.
Okay. Let me check what's the virtual OS that Articulate uses. Virtual OS, virtual operating system.
As I know, the version 16.5 is
Oh, is
supported.
it?
Yeah, the
Working
last
on
one.
a Mac.
Yeah.
Oh, this one, is it? Parallels Desktop, VMware. This one goes into this website. I definitely just pass you this. I just put inside the chat room. You can take a look on this. It depends on your Macintosh, the version as well. So normally we actually introduce them to use VMware, then Parallels
VMware.
Desktop. Yeah. Which one do you all want to choose actually?
If the VMware can use on Mac, I
Yeah.
prefer.
So definitely Parallels Desktop. These are different softwares. Parallels Desktop, VMware Fusion, or Apple Boot Camp. I'm not sure which one is possible for you all. Okay.
Okay. I will check
Yeah.
first because I already make a request to buy Parallel Desktop.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Now, if you make a request, let me actually specify the specifications first, like that. Articulate 360. 360 minimum specifications. Now, although this one is the minimum, you can see that hardware is only 2 gig processor that it needs. Okay, memory is only 2 gig. So now, basically, you need to also open your concurrent applications to your PC as well. So this is not actually applicable to you if you need to open like Adobe Photoshop the same time as you open Storyline or the same time that you open Adobe Premiere as well. Okay, so now definitely you need a higher RAM, a better processor. Okay, basically the disk space, we definitely go with SSD drive. Now let me put the specs inside the chat room. Hard disk, I just put HD, hard disk, we go with SSD drive, which is 516 gigabyte. Okay, then what else? Your RAM, because since you are doing also what you call the video rendering, so that's where we actually suggest a higher RAM. Okay, so possibly 16 gig RAM. If not, you can go with 8 gig RAM. Then processor. Okay, now processor itself, we normally just go with Intel chip, not AMD chip. Okay, Intel chip that is i7 and above, the Intel i7 and above. Now, for Intel i7 or Intel i9, they have different generations. So you need to check for the latest generation. If not mistaken, right now the generation is generation 10 or 11 already. Last year, it was still under generation 9. So that's where this year, if not mistaken, they have actually generated up to generation 10. So if you get the latest one, okay, I would say generation 9 would do. Okay, if you get the older one, try to get the latest generation itself. Okay, now if you still have budget, go with NVIDIA card as well. This is very good for video rendering especially. Now, that means I want you all to prepare for AR rendering as well. That means augmented reality. Okay, so I put there 1060i. This is definitely preparing for AR rendering side. Now, why we recommend for NVIDIA? Because it has a separate RAM for the video rendering. Okay, so that means it's faster in rendering with the PC itself. Now, for our graphic designers, all of them are with Intel processor, which is a lower grade one. That is, if not mistaken, 3 years plus or 4 years already since 2016. 2016, 4 years plus already. Okay, their processor, if not mistaken, is 7 or 8 generation that they are using the i7 itself. The RAM, definitely last year we have upgraded the RAM to 16 gig RAM. Okay, hard disk also we have upgraded for them. We have added another hard disk for them that is 500 gig SSD drive. Now, why we recommend SSD drive is because SSD drive can open your applications even faster. Okay, now for PCs, we definitely recommend 2 different drives for you all. One is a SSD drive, one is a SATA drive. SATA drive is a normal hard disk. The spinning is actually slower. So that's where the hard disk spinning that I'm saying. So SSD is spins faster, SATA drive is spins slower. Okay, so that's where whenever you need to open certain applications, we use SSD drive, which is your C drive. Okay, once you open the app ready, we depend on the SATA drive to actually do certain processing. That one is for your storage. Okay, so now our instructional designers and graphic designers all are using SSD drive. Okay, and my side, because I'm an older generation, okay, so my laptop itself, I have 2 drives itself. One is a SSD, another one is a SATA drive. So I have more storage. Okay, and the processor that I have is since I think 3 years plus is i7, the 8th generation of the i7 itself, and also with NVIDIA card that is GeForce GTX, I think. No. Where is the NVIDIA card? Can't recall. Yeah, I'm checking under the specs. Yeah, nothing on that because it has faded out. So let me just bring this in. This PC. Now, mine is 8 gig RAM only. Okay, so video processing or video rendering is slower. Okay, no problem because I don't mainly deal with videos. And also my Intel Pentium chip is which is the 8th generation. So that's where it starts with 8, the digit 8 itself. Okay, so it's 2.20 gigahertz. Okay, so this is the hard disk, not to say the hard disk. The hard disk that I have is something like this. The C drive is with SSD drive. So all these partitions that I have, work, personal, and tool installation, which is the SATA drive. So this is all the partitions that I have. So you can see that it's 500 gig, okay, which is the SSD drive, D drive, E drive, and F drive, which is SATA drive, which is 1 terabyte that I have. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you can change the specs that you have requested, try to, because you would suffer lesser, that I would say.
Actually, we have already the laptop that actually we use the latest version of Mac. We don't use Intel chip, but we use Apple M1 chip. I have tested with like the rendering on the video, like we call I forgot about it. It's called the software that we test for video edit.
DaVinci Resolve.
The DaVinci.
Yeah. We already
And,
test the rendering the video, and we have issue only with the articulate by 360.
Mm-hmm.
So We will buy the license parallel window to open the articulate on our Mac.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 Actually, we have requested soon January, the end century, and I just follow up with the IT help desk in order to make this process faster. And right
Yeah.
now, because maybe it later, I need to use my own MacBook. Yes, after the training to the computer store to install like parallel one, so I can train with my personal computer and use the company one for like the yes, for the Microsoft Team.
Okay. So the company laptop is also Macintosh lah, is it?
Yeah.
Ah, wow, you're so privileged. You all use Macintosh laptops.
Only two of us only Maria and I. Actually, we have requested for so long and just back and forth because actually we want like the window one in order to work well because of there are like have more license and some website need to be blocked or something. So finally we have like MacBook in stock. So if we request one, we need time in order to get the new
Yeah.
MacBook, the new
Yeah.
book, the new computer. That's why the final one we use this MacBook in order to
Yes.
start.
Understood. So for your MacBook, it's not easily upgraded for the hardware side. Okay. So for Windows laptop, definitely it's easier to upgrade the hardware side in that perspective lah. Okay. So recently, I think since early last week, since coming back from Chinese New Year break, my laptop actually go haywire in a sense that I cannot actually access to the Wi-Fi. And so based on that, I just asked them to check whether the connection is right, whether the connection sometimes is loosens. So I actually updated the driver also, it cannot connect to the Wi-Fi. And so they actually break down, that means they open the capsule, they open the cap outside, then they see where is it, they see the two antennas, which is for Wi-Fi. Okay, the black and white one. Then they open it up, then they reconnect again. Right now it's working fine for me lah. Okay, so Macintosh laptops, I don't think you can open up very easily in that case. Okay, although software point of things is more stable. Okay, stable in a sense that you don't get many viruses going in for Mac. Okay, but Windows, you get a lot of viruses, definitely. Okay, so for banking, especially, banking side, most of them, they actually make use of Windows laptop. Okay, so that's where the IT personnel needs to actually put on more firewalls and antiviruses. Now, in Malaysia itself, I happen to know one of the bank since 2020, they had a cyber security breach. Okay, I wouldn't name which bank is it. Okay, they had a cyber security breach. Okay, so that's where they closed down for around 5 days. Can you imagine the whole bank? Okay, the whole bank, the HQ especially, they closed down for 5 days. You cannot touch the laptop, you cannot even open the laptop. Okay, so that's where we were dealing with this bank under the content side. So that's where they told us. So this week, we cannot deal with them. Only the following week that we can deal with them. Okay, so IT side, they need to also strengthen the cybersecurity side as well as viruses side for Windows users lah. Okay, so bear in mind that it's okay to use Macintosh. Okay, just that you need to upgrade, not to say you upgrade, whatever updates that come for Articulate. Okay, so that means you need to go into the parallel desktop, okay, under Windows, and then only you update. Okay, even your Office ware. Okay, your Office need to be installed inside your Windows OS, not inside your Macintosh OS. Okay, now the Office software, definitely we strongly suggest to use Office 365 right now. Okay, Office 365 come with Teams. Then the software that you can use is PowerPoint, Word, as well as Excel. These two things, that is PowerPoint and Excel, can integrate with Storyline. once you import, okay? Import the slides that people provide to you, then you just directly just import. Otherwise, you need to copy and paste, you know, goodness, okay? So that is why when making use of parallel desktop, you know which applications go into Windows and which applications go into Mac, okay? So be sure of that, okay? Yeah. So anything else under parallel desktop? Nana. So now Lisa, Casey, and Shira, okay, how are y'all doing the optional exercises for Kayak?
I managed to do everything, but then when it comes to the back to the main video, I don't know how the triggers kind of.
Okay, yeah, Ken,
It was
that's the only thing lah.
yes, the only thing. The other thing I can manage to do it.
Okay, how about Casey?
Actually, when I started earlier, I was really struggling, and then I created another slide, and then I redid it, and I'm seeing progress, but then I'm still exploring it. I guess the key here is to really explore and try, because later on you'll get used to the system or the application, because when you see it for the first time you think that you can already apply it, but as you move along you'll see that you'll be missing some of the items. You won't be able to tick this box, right? And right now when I restarted, I was able to have bracing video available, but the post-its aren't available or aren't visible. So I'm still exploring, but I think I can do this.
Okay, so just let me recap for all of you all, how did I do this? Okay, now in order for you all to catch up on, everything is sitting under one slide.
Hi, I'm Katie from REI Outdoor School. I'm going to show you how to get in and out of your kayak, both from a dock
So the
and
cue
from a
point
beach.
is somewhere at 10
Before we get started,
seconds.
Choose a different types of stroke to learn more.
So this one calls a layer. Once the cue point at 10 seconds, then calls a layer, which I put the layer which is called choices. So the choices that I have, which is bracing, forward, and paddle. Now, after which I group this object so that it's easier for me to create the triggers. Now, this states, so once I click under bracing, it calls a layer. Now, under the close button, I actually not hide layer, okay, I show layer, which is show the layer of choices. Okay, because everything is making use of layers, so that means I need to choose specific layer itself. Okay, so same thing with forward and paddle. Now, in order to make the back to menu open, to be visible, the button to go back to the main video, which is Kayak. How do I do that? Now, automatically it is hidden first. The state of it is hidden. Okay, then paddle.
Today we're going to talk about paddle.
Then forward.
The forward
Then
stroke is
upon
one of
I
those.
click this, then back to main is open up. Okay, that's where I can click back to
if you're
main
on a
and
dock, you can
return
feel
to
free
the
to use the
video.
cleat to help you get in and out
Okay,
of the boat.
now to come to this, to Kayak, this one is plainly just putting the video, putting the cue point at 10 seconds, then showing the layer of choices upon 10 seconds is meet. Okay, and then I do the choices first. So choices, I just put the caption, the character, bracing, forward, paddle. Okay, so this one I created certain animations. I also recorded the voiceover. So now, then after that, I group this object so that the triggers also can work together. Okay, so that means it's called group one, that is under bracing. So that means for group one, I just call the layer for bracing. That means it's calling this. So there's no other triggers here, okay, except button one, which is this close button, which is hide this layer and show layer choices. Okay, so this is where your sequence of the triggers will play a role as well. Okay, now after that, all these three is the same thing. Okay, the trigger side. After that, I highlight all these layers And furthermore, I go to layer properties in order to pause the main video, which is Kaya. So that's where I need to pause the timeline of the base layer so that the two videos will not conflict. Okay, so this one is done. And then after that, how do I control this back to main button? Okay, now this back to main button, right now you can see that it's gray. Why? Because I have hidden it. So under states here, I have the initial state I've changed to hidden first. That means initially it is hidden. Only when certain criteria meets that it changes to normal, then only I can click. Okay, so now what's the trigger for back to main, which is this trigger. Okay, now initially it's hidden, the starting of the slide. So this is the trigger that I choose. Change state of button, which is back to main, okay, to normal. Okay, normal, that means it actually flashes you to green color whenever these three pictures, that means the three pictures are selected. That means selected state is there. So you can check the state, which is selected state. Okay, so these are the things that we definitely do this. Okay, and then once this button is out, I actually created this trigger hide layer because this one is created as a layer. Okay, so once you hide it, it will go back to the main layer. Okay, so that's why earlier on that you see me, I'm previewing a few times because I miss out certain things. So that is what Casey says, you need to explore, practice. And sometimes you need to preview as well. Okay, what is the thing that is missing? I missed this, I missed that. Okay, so initially when how to train into becoming an expert into article storyline, we also preview. We do a lot of mistakes as well. Okay, so that's how we learn. Now, it's the same thing as driving on the road. I always tell this story. When you drive on the road, you follow Waze or Google Map. Okay, when Waze take you to a different place, then you say Waze is a stupid thing, that it takes you to a different place. But in the end, it's the location that is the problem, the address which is the problem. Okay, so that's where you fix that problem. You key in another address and it's the right location already. Just that it takes you a different route. Okay, so whenever we drive, although it makes mistakes, but it allows us to explore more things that we never explored. Okay, so this is the part that sometimes you do mistakes inside storyline. No problem. That's where you learn and you try not to make the mistakes again. Okay, so now you can do 1, 2, 3 times. Sometimes we even do 5 times the error. Then only we can remember, or more than 5 times. So this is the mistakes that we also allow you all to do. Okay, so now the demo side, I will definitely present tomorrow. Okay, so right now it's already 5:31. So any questions coming from the floor before we end this session?
No
Alina, I have
questions.
a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Will the recordings be uploaded today? Sorry, just to clarify.
Yes, definitely. Let me try to, oh, it asked me to log in again. Now, the first one is already in. You can just directly just go into recordings, go into the second one, and then you can click the first recording. So the recordings will be in by end of this day lah for the afternoon session, no problem.
And can we, I tried to download the recording earlier. We can't download it?
This one is unlisted. So I'm not sure it allows you to download. Okay, now the videos.
The one we did in MS Teams, that, okay.
Okay.
It's uploaded in YouTube. Okay.
Yeah. So now this part of things, sometimes we allow you to download, sometimes we don't. Okay, because MS Teams site is still available because I have yet to delete. Okay, so bear in mind that we need to clear the different storage. Okay, plus once we uploaded to YouTube, this one is unlisted. Okay, so the link is there. If you are able to download this link, try to. Now, we don't actually what you call say that it's not permissible for you to download. Okay, but it's not recommended. Okay, now if you only choose to download for your own usage, okay, that means you can train for yourself, that means you want to take a look later, that's fine, but try not to publish it out to any one of your friends or any teammates of you. Okay, but if you want to share among your colleagues, okay, your colleagues that is doing the content development, go ahead. Now, the reason why we say that is because videos will go obsolete one. Okay, it's not valid that sometimes the videos will stay that way all the time. Okay, so some features are being updated as well as a monthly update. So sometimes we use a different way of teaching. Okay, let's say this one, or this is a new feature, so that's where we train. Okay, and sometimes it's a new feature that is obsolete already. Okay, so this is where videos can go obsolete as well. Okay, after 2 or 3 months, you do not want to see the videos anymore. Okay, because since you all practice already. Okay, and after 2 to 3 months as well, your storage should be higher. Okay, higher means that this one is around 600 meg. So 600 times 10 different sessions. How much is that? Already 6 gig plus. So imagine your storage. Okay, so this is where definitely we share inside the YouTube, but sometimes we make use of other media server. Okay, so any other things that I need to share? Okay, no questions? Okay, so tomorrow we will also start at 9 a.m. Let me stop the recording. We also will start at